Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here and thank you for agreeing to moderate this year. We really appreciate that. We just want to go over a few things so that you know what to expect and you can prepare for it. Um, this will be pretty quick, easy. You'll have no trouble. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask those at the end and we'll be happy to answer. So the first thing, whenever you get there and you go to registration to get all of your information, you'll receive a moderator packet. And in that packet, you should get a piece of paper that shows what session you're assigned to, the name of the session, the speaker, the room assignment, and what time it is. You'll also receive a copy of the moderator guidelines, a moderator review sheet, and also instructions on how to tell everybody they can submit their CE credits. Once it's time for your session, you'll want to arrive about 10 to 15 minutes early. That way you can meet the speaker and also meet with our AV team that's in there. You'll want to talk to the speaker and find out some information about how they want to be introduced. When do they want to answer questions? Some of them will want to answer throughout the session, and some of them will prefer to wait until the end of the session. You'll also want to remind the speaker to repeat any questions that are asked. That way we can make sure that all attendees in the session know what questions are being asked and the answers to those questions. You'll also want to ask your speaker how and when they want to be notified of how much time they have left. Usually it's anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes, and usually you'll just kind of like put up your hands and let them know how many minutes they have left. One of the things that we ask that you do on your review sheet is keep up with how many people are in the session at the beginning of the session, and then again, how many people are there halfway through the session. And for all virtual sessions, the AV team will have a iPad that they've got it ready to go. There's nothing that you have to do, and they will also go over with you how to work the iPad. But any questions that come through on the iPad, we ask that you repeat those and let the speaker address those questions.
All right, Lindsay.
At the end of every session, there will be a code that all of the attendees will need to have in order to get their CE credits. So at the end of every slideshow, there will be a slide that will look very similar to this, and it will have the code for that particular session in that slide, and it will give instructions for the attendees to text in to get their credit. They will need to text the code and then their full name in order to get that credit. And so you just want to make sure that at the end of the session, when this slide pops up, well, number one, that the speaker goes all the way through their slides so that this slide pops up. And then also just remind them to make sure that they submit, because they won't get credit unless they send that text message with that specific code. And then this is a copy of what your review sheet will look like that will be included in your moderator packet that you pick up at registration. You will have a separate sheet that will be already pre-filled in at the top with the session time and the session title. For each of the sessions that you may be moderating for. This is where you will track the attendance at the beginning of the session, halfway through the session, and then any additional comments that you want to add to that based on how the speaker did or how attendees received the session, or any kind of notes that you have. And then you will just return each of these sheets to the registration desk. And if you can return them by the end of each day that you are moderating, that would be appreciated.
Lindsay. Yeah, so we at HQ, we do use these sheets to kind of keep track of how attendance goes throughout the session. So doing that kind of early mid head count and then the final head count is really important. We like to kind of use it to see if people are coming or going to sessions, so we can kind of know which ones are going to be big deals next year, and which ones, maybe we think about switching up how the session goes or what the topic is. So that's kind of the purpose of these review sheets and just making sure that, people are sticking around for sessions. And if they're not, we can kind of look into those sessions a little bit more and figure out why. Um, like Mary Beth said, pretty quick, pretty easy. Does anyone have any questions before we kind of end today? Any
And
requests, any concerns?
we do promise your comments are very important and we read every one of them.
We
So
do.
yeah, so please, if you have anything, let us know.
In fact, I have 4 folders sitting next to me filled with moderator sheets from the past 4 years. So
I was just gonna say for myself, like if there's anything, like if something happens and you just need another human, I'm happy to be flexible on site if someone has an issue. So if you just want to put my name down as oh crap, we need another person, I'm happy to be one of those people.
yeah,
Awesome. Thank
thanks,
you, Katie.
Katie. Yeah, go ahead, Kurt.
Are we going to get or do we have the ability to get the sessions we're facilitating before we check in? My
Yeah,
only fear is I'm leaving Wednesday or late Tuesday night. And I just want to make sure my facilitation isn't in conflict with my travel schedule.
yeah, you should have gotten an email from me on Monday with that information. But I will follow up with you just to make sure because
Sorry.
sometimes they bounce back, sometimes they go to spam. It's totally okay.
All right. Thank you.
Isn't
Yeah,
it
of
cool
course.
that I think it's cool that she like solves your question before you even ask it.
It's impressive. Very
It is.
impressive.
So
Ellen,
unfortunately, I have
that's
the
my
same question
primary.
as Kirk. I'm not sure which one I'm moderating. So if you wouldn't mind resetting mine out, my email
Yeah, of
too, that
course.
would be great. Thank you.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Charles. You're just trying to make me feel better.
I'm not that nice, no. Or
Um, if you guys have, like, again, to Katie's point, like, if there is, you guys pop into the registration desk one day and are just like, hey, are there any sessions that need moderating? We do always have moderators who end up having scheduling conflicts, or, we get to the room to check 3 minutes before and there's no moderator. So, always feel free to check in with the registration desk to see if there's any need for moderators throughout the day as well. See, we have a couple of chat questions. Mike and thanks, Mike. So thanks, Mike. Yes, I will be sending a follow-up email with all this information, a link to today's meeting recordings. And then also if you need any updates or any reminders as to what your session is, I'm going to be sending out also a master list with all of the moderators and speakers and times and rooms and everything like that. So you guys can even look to see where your friends are. So if you guys have any questions or concerns, please feel free. Shoot me, Mary Beth, Lindsay, an email. You guys should all have my contact information. If you don't, the guy sitting behind me over here runs the NIPA inbox. So he just typically throws a post-it note at me. So please let me know if you guys have any questions. Other than that, we will let you guys have the rest of your day back.
Good. You.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
you too.